คุณนะคะยินดี
Thank you สวัสดีค่ะ Pacharee นะคะขออนุญาตพูดภาษาอังกฤษนะคะ So I will do this presentation in English. I heard from the organizer that we have about 27 different countries that are attending this, I think 3 or 4 day seminar. Today, I'm here to speak with you in regards to building a digital workforce. So before I get started, I just want a show of hands. Who's here is a startup? Who's here? All right, there you are. Who here hires? Having to hire, of course. As a startup, you have to hire a lot of people, you too. So for those of you who are building your team, this is going to be a really interesting insight into what's happening in terms of getting digital tech talent to come your way. Okay, we're really excited at BrightNow.Asia. As the MC had mentioned, we work closely with a lot of tech clients. And the Thailand 4.0 is an exciting time for Thailand to, become a digital economy. I want to share with you guys some stats that we have gotten from OECD, which is the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Many large, I would give or take the G7 ministers are involved in this OECD where they regulate the internet. So here are some stats about 4.0. It is estimated that productivity is going to jump about 5 to 10%. 65% of the kids today will have jobs that haven't even been invented yet. I have 2 daughters who are 10 and 11 years old. And I was saying to them even this morning, I said, I wonder if you will go to university like the same way I went to university, or will you be doing it mostly online, and some online and then some on campus. By the year of 2022, it is estimated that global connectivity will be about 14 billion. And around the same time, 90% of internet users will be banking online and 80% will be shopping online. Raise your hands if you're already doing this, banking as well as shopping online, yeah? Me too. I think I have a parcel coming every day. Today I got a fan because the other one fell down and broke. So Thailand, are we ready for Thailand 4.0, meaning the workforce? This article, actually I just updated this slide just last night because this piece of news came out from the Bangkok Post. You can check the link. I will upload my slides into my LinkedIn profile. So if you guys want to get a copy and you want the URL as a cross-reference link, so you can grab it off of there. So the Oxford Business Group surveyed C-suite executives where 70 countries participated. And out of 70 countries, Thailand is 54 in math, 57 for reading, 54th for sciences. So arguably, Thailand students are possibly studying the wrong thing. We are falling basically in the lower percentile. My slides just went dead. Death by PowerPoint. So the forecast, based on the same group of Oxford Business Group here, is that 33% of the global workforce will be displaced by the year of 2030. And in Thailand, that means 17 to 18%. I can immediately, just looking around where I live and work, see where a good chunk of those jobs are going to go. Like the guards, that mans the buildings and the parking lots. That's all going to become automated. And, as cameras and Wi-Fi cameras becomes better at recording things, it's going to do away with a good chunk of those jobs. So what are on the minds of CEOs? Because of all these changes, the things that CEO worry about are, am I going to find the right talent with the right skill? One thing I also wanted to add, in addition to that survey that I just mentioned, they say that Thailand, we're demanding digital talent close to around 10,000. The universities of Thailand currently today are only producing around 3,000. So that means we have to import the remaining around 7,000. Okay, so this is why it's worrying for CEOs, because they have to bring in the right skill sets in order to help them build their companies. So digital skills demands for it are on the rise. LinkedIn calls it the demand for ABC. ABC being artificial intelligence, AI, B as in big data, and C as in cloud computing. I know my graph there is a little bit small, but you can see like AI is all the way over there in the forefront. One of my favorite things I like to talk to my girls about is I want them to be scientists, and I would like them to build me a teleporter. As long as I could remember, I've been in love with Star Trek, and I always wanted to be teleported to different places. So I'm hoping they will fulfill my wish. So how long do you guys think it takes for like a leading company in Thailand to hire a digital talent? Can I hear some numbers? 6 months? Anyone else willing to take a guess here? How long do you think it takes for a leading Thai company to hire a digital talent based on some of the stats that I shared a little bit earlier? I had 6 months, shorter or longer over here? How long do you think? ไม่รู้ Okay. 13 months, this is the estimate. So it actually takes much longer. As I mentioned before, the demand in Thailand for digital talent is around 10,000. We're producing 3,000 out of university, so there is a shortage. So digital talent in Thailand currently are mostly mid-career professionals, so that a good chunk of them are X generation, so close to my age, or a little bit younger, like the older end of the millennials. And they have different wants and they have different needs. So for those of you who are hiring, this will be of interest to you. What do digital talent want in a job? So here it is. Basically from the top all the way to the bottom. They want excellent compensation and benefits, work-life balance. I'm starting to hear a little bit more of like people aren't necessarily just looking at work-life balance. They're now looking at work-fit balance, meaning how does work fit into my actual life so I can always do my work on the go. They want challenging work. They want a strong career path and a culture that fits them, their personality. Now you will see that there is this graph on the right, and you will see plus 4, plus 3, minus 3, minus 4, minus 8. Basically, this is compared to a survey that LinkedIn did, what Thais still value and what digital talent value less. The red is what they value less. So they value less having a good relationship with their superiors, a company that has a long strategic vision, and job security. Why? Because they know they're in demand. So they know they can job hop, and they'll get poached anyway. So here's some additional stats on employers and candidate statistics. Now this is interesting. 57% of the companies that were surveyed by LinkedIn say they have a strategy in terms of attracting the right talent to their company. And job seekers say that they visit media sites to evaluate if they want to apply for the job. Job seekers also consider the brand. I think this goes towards like, you want to be proud of the place that you're working at so that you want to be in good company. And the digital talent believe that the reviews that are on various websites, they tend to believe it to be true. So, and there's, just like we check TripAdvisor for hotels, or we check Wong Nai for where we're going to go to eat and the type of review. Well, people are now starting to check employers. Okay. So what's the solution? So this is what brings us to employer branding, and this is how we build a digital workforce. Okay. So what is employer branding, just so that we're all on the same page? Well, it's a process of promoting your company and organization to your targeted group. So one that fits the company's needs and that you want to recruit and retain them. Okay? An employer brand is a company reputation as an employer and its value proposition and what it offers to potential employees. So very much in the same way that other brands, whether it's Adidas or Nike or Acer computer or Apple watch, you build a brand pretty much in the same way, but it's in regards to what is your company about. Okay, so why is employer branding important? As I mentioned, now people are starting to go and check and understand a little bit more about where they're getting into. And for those of you who are actually in hiring position, you probably may have noticed that the younger generation are much more fickle. They jump around a little bit more than our predecessor or even our own generation. So when you have employer branding, how does that help you? Well, it taps you directly into the best candidate if you have a good word of mouth. If you're not able to pay very well right now, but you have great culture, you have a good story, you have interesting work, that could also bring them on board, and they're willing to invest, their time with you, because those are the things that also drive them. And it reduces your costs, saves some time, and it's a way of motivating and keeping people on board. I already mentioned word of mouth, so I'm going to skip that. My background, before I started this agency 10 years ago, I used to work for very large companies, large tech companies. I used to be with Lucent and Alcatel, and I was part of WPP Group as head of brand. One of the things that people sometimes misunderstand is they think, oh, a brand is this thing that I see. It's just this logo. And sometimes I have clients who come and they say, hey, make me a logo, one that's going to speak to the people. But the reality is, you're more than a logo. The logo is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything else underneath is how you walk your talk, how you communicate your brand. That's what makes you a brand. Whether you keep your promise to the people and you deliver what you say you're going to deliver, that becomes part of it. It's not just the image of what you put out. And lately, I'm sure you've noticed, since the dawn of social media, the whole thing about brand authenticity is coming to the forefront. Everybody wants to know, are you for real, right? So ways to brand for those of you who are wanting to do employer branding for yourself to attract the digital talents. One of them is through showcasing your leadership. The MC had mentioned that we work with Grab, and I was privileged to meet Anthony Tan, the founder of Grab, and he was the media darling because he's very approachable, he's good looking, he's very friendly. So when you have an executive like this, get a media train, put them out there. And there's been others who are also quite, in the same way. They just shine when you put them in front of a reporter or a camera. So definitely use your CEO or senior executives that have that kind of personality, and they're open to it. Why? Because they're also the leader of the organization, and they carry with them the mission and the vision, and they become this credible spokesperson for the company. So how else can you create a stronger employee brand? One of them is to create a LinkedIn profile. I know LinkedIn is not very popular in Thailand. Facebook is, but the reality is Facebook is general, right? We go there, we have fun, we entertain. It's not mutually exclusive, meaning that if you're on LinkedIn, you can't be on Facebook. You can even have both. But in LinkedIn, if anybody here has ever tried to start a profile, you will notice there's a lot of data that you have to give them. And that data, they sit on around 500 million plus worth of data. And that data becomes a gold mine for those who use their, whether it's a sales navigator or the recruitment platform. Now, there's also another section in there as well that you can create your company page. By the way, it's free. You don't have to even use the paid one. The paid one, obviously, you start to be able to curate and put more content on top of it. But even I have a free page for our company on there where, you know, just to showcase who we are, what we do, and then we update it regularly. And the beauty of this is to show, and people follow you. And when they follow you, you're actually able to start a conversation with them because you know if they start following you, 50% of that they come 50% your way already. So it makes, you know, it easier to start recruiting them. Okay. So the other thing is your employees are also your brand ambassador. Whether they say good things or they say bad things, they're your brand ambassador. So please be mindful of that because it goes both ways. So on the positive side, how do you want to brand them? You want to showcase your employees' achievement. One of our clients, Bangkok Prep International School, one of their teachers wrote a book. So they sent out a press release to showcase her as an author, having written a really interesting book about modern families, you know, how families kind of like, they're not always the nuclear family. They get married, they get divorced, they have, you know, stepbrothers and stepsisters. So that's a good way to showcase your company. CSR is showing that you want to be involved in the community. So more than just the work itself, you can showcase fun retreats, team building, and any additional perks that the company may have. Some companies use awards as a way to showcase that, you know, they can apply to show that, hey, we're the best employer, and then companies come and do the audit. And through that, they establish themselves in the market as somebody that's like, hey, we're good employers, come and talk to us. So here are some of the top employers review sites. Some of you may not have come across this information yet. I know they're not that popular yet in Asia, but sooner or later, because we are using TripAdvisor, we're using Wong Nai, we're using so many of these tools just to check it out, whether it's good or not good. Somebody's going to be checking out your company very much in the same way before they decide to apply or not apply. So do get to know them and be proactive on them. So in summary, a company's success in acquiring its, you know, what is a company really? We're a team of group of people. So in order to get those team of group of people, we're going to need to acquire the right people with the right talent at the right time in order to build and roll out our products, right? So big data, new technologies is enabling new ways for us to be able to find each other, okay, like LinkedIn through the tools. Employer branding is not boring. This photo is actually about a police station, and it's a Batman ride along. So because, you know, people tend to think, oh, they couldn't recruit enough people, so they wanted to showcase that they're fun and interesting too. Employer review sites show where you stand, and it also gives candidates information. One of the things that I got, somebody said to me, hey, what if I get a negative review on some of these sites? Should I go and try to get the site to take it down? I said, no, actually, you know, if you only show the warm and fuzzy and beautiful picture, people start to think maybe you're not real either. So you should keep it up there and show them how you actually handle these things, right? Just like even on some of the TripAdvisor, sometimes they have unhappy guests, and they actually go and say, you know, thank you for your feedback. I'd like to talk to you, and let's work this out so that, you know, we understand how to improve our work. So that was my presentation, and just a little bit about us and what we do. We're a boutique agency doing marketing communication. We're mostly below the line. We work with startups, unicorns, disruptors, all the way to blue chip brands. The reason why I wanted to come here and share my knowledge as well as talk to all you lovely people is because we're also looking for the next startup to be partner with, to collaborate with, because we enjoy the relationship. This is me. If we could be of service in some way, shape, or form, please do get in contact with me. I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm a little slow on email. Calling is the best. I love it because people don't call anymore. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I will definitely call you for some more advice. Thank you very much for presentation ขอบคุณค่ะ